guess. So we've all been hearing a lot lately of Donald Trump. He says outrageous things. He seems to be in the papers every day, and I believe he's polling up to 40% for the Republican presidential primary. Maybe even one of you are going to vote for him.
Nice.
Well, today, I'm going to tell you Donald Trump that I know. I remember it was around the early 80s, and my father came home. He worked for a small company out of New Jersey. He sold conveyors, these things you see in dry cleaners and factories and stuff like this. And one day he came home and he said, "That Trump, he's a total scumbag. This guy is unbelievable." One of his hotels had gone bankrupt, and he was just going to pay my dad's company the equipment that they owed only 10 cents on the dollar. And my father's company was a small company, and he just thought that was outrageous that a fat cat like that could get away with it. And I think that was really the first time I began thinking of Donald Trump. My father was from New York, just like you can, so you probably followed Trump in the old days. And then during the 80s, I think Donald Trump's hotels and casinos, they went bankrupt 4 times. So think about it, 4 times all the people that worked in the hotels and the casinos that were laid off, or maybe contractors that didn't work, families destroyed by Donald Trump. New York City also went bankrupt too, and actually at the time, as far as my memory, Donald Trump, maybe Ken, you can help me in this, but as far as I remember, Donald Trump was kind of a joke at that point, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was kind of a joke, really.
Yeah.
People looked at him like a loser. And then after New York went bankrupt, as always, there's a rebuilding, and they had the real estate came back. Donald Trump started doing a little better, and then in the late 80s and I think the early 90s, he started writing books on real estate, how to profit on real estate. Not one book, but it seemed like a book every month. How to make a fortune in real estate. I'm Donald Trump, I did it. And sure enough, as all bubbles burst, this one burst. And he was riding that bubble right when it burst. He didn't start, real estate at the beginning. So he was writing the books right as the bubble burst. And you would think after that, most businessmen, they would slink off. But I think within 6 months, I started seeing books on Trump on how to profit in the real estate downturn. And I was like, what kind of idiot would buy a book that Trump wrote to make money in real estate, and then that same guy's gonna buy the books on how to profit from bankruptcy? It didn't make sense. I think for me, that was Donald Trump, in my eyes, is when he hit the lowest. Selling the books to make a profit, being totally wrong, and then trying to sell books on how to profit from bankruptcy, if that makes sense. And then, one of the only things Trump probably ever did right in his life, where he became a big success. Can anyone guess what that was? He became a celebrity. The Apprentice, reality television. The Apprentice, You're Fired, went on to become one of the top shows and really made Donald Trump what he is today. Big celebrity, most well known for his Apprentice TV show, even though he will tell you he's an excellent businessman. Now when you see his hotels all over the country, in Chicago or all over the world, maybe they were in Dubai and God knows how many other places, he doesn't actually own the hotels. He more sells his brand, and he might take a small interest, or he might manage some of the properties. So he's learned his lesson not to put all his marbles into the buildings. He just kind of sells his brand, and he makes his profit that way. But I was thinking about all this during the election, and so many people are convinced that he's such a success, but from what I've seen, he's not really. So just in closing, if some of you are maybe going to vote for Trump if he's still on the ballot when that time comes around in next spring, and you really still feel strongly about Donald Trump, think about the stuff I said, about the families he's destroyed, some of his companies that have gone bankrupt, the silly things he's done being a television celebrity. Is this the kind of man we want to lead our country? So when you walk into that voting booth and you're still thinking of voting for Mr. Trump, just think to yourself, Donald, you're fired.